I think I didn't do anything wrong. Just let my friend hold my baby before my husband did. But now I'm staring at divorce papers, and everyone says it's my fault. I still believe I was only being fair, until I saw the evidence he had collected. Before we dive deeper into the story, I have one small request. Please subscribe, drop a like, comment, and hit that hype button to boost this channel so more people can discover these incredible stories. The contraction started at 3 a.m. on a Tuesday. Carter was already reaching for his keys when I grabbed my phone to text Liam. "It's happening. Baby's coming today." Carter paused at the bedroom door. "Brietta, we need to get to the hospital. Why are you texting?" "Just letting Liam know," I said, slipping my phone into my hospital bag. He's been so supportive through this whole pregnancy. The drive to City Hospital was tense. Carter gripped the steering wheel, his knuckles white under the streetlights. I could feel his disapproval radiating from the driver's seat, but I didn't care. Liam had been there for me when Carter was working late, listening to my fears about becoming a mother, bringing me ice cream when I was craving it. He deserved to know. By the time we reached the delivery room, I was already planning how I'd share this moment. Liam had texted back immediately. "On my way. Can't wait to meet her." "Brietta, focus on me," Carter said, taking my hand as another contraction hit. "We're about to become parents." But I was already thinking about the photos I'd post, the sweet moment when Liam would hold Emily for the first time. He'd been more excited about this pregnancy than Carter sometimes seemed to be. 8 hours later, Emily Rose Morland entered the world. She was perfect, tiny fingers, dark hair, and the most beautiful cry I'd ever heard. Carter's eyes filled with tears as the doctor placed her on my chest. "She's incredible," he whispered, stroking her tiny hand. "Our daughter." That's when Liam appeared in the doorway, still in his work clothes but carrying a massive bouquet of pink roses. "Brietta! Oh my God, she's here!" He rushed to my bedside, completely ignoring Carter's presence. "How are you feeling? Is she okay? She's so beautiful." Carter stepped back, his face unreadable. "Liam, I didn't know you were coming." "Of course I'm here," Liam said, his eyes never leaving Emily. "I've been part of this journey from the beginning. Brietta, can I hold her?" I looked between them, Carter standing stiffly by the window, Liam leaning over us with such genuine excitement. It seemed cruel to deny him this moment when he had been so invested in my pregnancy. "Of course," I said, carefully transferring Emily to Liam's waiting arms. The moment was perfect. Liam's face lit up as he cradled her, whispering soft words about how beautiful she was. I quickly grabbed my phone and snapped a photo. Liam's gentle smile, Emily's peaceful face, the pink roses in the background. "Carter, come get in the picture," I called, but when I looked up, he was gone. I found him in the hallway 20 minutes later, talking quietly on his phone. "Mum, I can't. I just need some air," he was saying. When he saw me, he quickly ended the call. "Everything okay?" I asked. "Fine." His voice was flat. "Just updating my family. Liam's still with Emily. He's so natural with her, isn't he? I think she really likes him." Carter's jaw tightened. "She's 20 minutes old, Brietta. She doesn't know who anyone is yet." "Don't be like that. Liam's been so supportive. He even took time off work to be here for her birth." "He took time off work to be here for our daughter's birth," Carter corrected. "Our daughter, Brietta. Mine and yours." I rolled my eyes. "You're being ridiculous. He's just a friend who cares about us." But even as I said it, I was already editing the photo on my phone, adding a caption. "Emily's first cuddle with someone special. So grateful for friends who become family. Blessed and chef newborn extra love." The post went live as we walked back into the room. Within minutes, comments started pouring in. "Liam looks like a natural daddy. So sweet that he was there for the birth. Carter's so lucky to have such a supportive friend helping with the baby." I showed Carter the comments, expecting him to see how loved and supported we were. Instead, His face went completely pale. "People think he's the father," he said quietly. "No, they don't. They're just being supportive." "Brietta, look at this comment. Congratulations to the happy parents." They're congratulating him, not me. I glanced at the screen. Sure enough, several people were directing their congratulations to Liam, who had already liked and responded to multiple comments with heart emojis. "That's just a misunderstanding," I said. "People know you're my husband." But Carter was already packing up his things. "I'm going to get some coffee. Take your time with your friend." He left again, and this time he didn't come back for 2 hours. When he finally returned, visiting hours were almost over, and Liam was reluctantly preparing to leave. "I'll be back tomorrow," Liam promised, kissing my forehead. "Get some rest, Mama. You were incredible today." After he left, the room felt heavy with unspoken tension. Carter sat in the chair by the window, staring out at the parking lot. "He called me Mama," I said, trying to break the silence. "I noticed. Are you going to stay here tonight? The nurses said you could sleep in the chair." Carter was quiet for a long moment. "I'll stay. But Brietta, we need to talk about boundaries." "What kind of boundaries?" "With Liam. This isn't normal. The way he acts around you, around our baby. It's not normal." I felt a familiar surge of defensiveness. "He's been my friend since college, Carter. He cares about me. About us. I'm sorry if that threatens you, but I'm not going to cut off a friendship just because you're insecure." Carter's shoulders sagged. "It's not about insecurity, Brietta. It's about respect. For our marriage, for our family. Our family includes people who love and support us. Liam is one of those people." "Is he?" Carter asked quietly. "Because from where I'm sitting, it looks like he's trying to replace me." I turned away, cradling Emily closer. "You're being paranoid. Liam would never do that." But as I drifted off to sleep that night, I couldn't shake the image of Carter's face when Liam held Emily first. The hurt in his eyes, the way he'd stepped back as if he didn't belong in his own daughter's birth story. My phone buzzed with another notification. Liam had posted his own photo from today, a selfie of him holding Emily, with the caption, "Best day ever. Welcome to the world, beautiful girl. Uncle Liam loves you so much already." Uncle Liam. I smiled at that. It was sweet, really. Carter was overreacting, just like he always did when it came to my friendships. Liam was family now, whether Carter liked it or not. The first week home from the hospital was a blur of sleepless nights and endless feedings. Carter had taken time off work to help, but somehow Liam ended up being there more than my own husband. "I brought dinner," Liam announced, letting himself in with the spare key I'd given him months ago. "Thai food from that place you love." Carter looked up from where he was changing Emily's diaper. "We already ate." "Oh." Liam's face fell slightly. "Well, I can put this in the fridge for later. How's our little princess doing?" "Our little princess." I saw Carter's jaw clench at the words. "She's been fussy today," I said, taking Emily from Carter's arms. "I think she might be getting overstimulated." "Here, let me try," Liam said, reaching for her. "I have a magic touch with babies." And he did. Emily immediately calmed in his arms, her crying stopping as he swayed gently back and forth. I grabbed my phone to capture the moment. "Liam has the magic touch," I posted to my Instagram story, adding heart emojis around the video. Carter disappeared into the kitchen without a word. This became our routine. Liam would arrive every evening around 6, usually with food or flowers, or some small gift for Emily. He'd take over baby duty while I showered or rested, and Carter would find reasons to be in other rooms. "He's here again," Carter said one evening, as Liam's car pulled into our driveway. "Doesn't he have his own life?" "He's being supportive," I snapped. "I'm sorry if you'd rather I struggle alone while you're working." "I'm not working right now, Brietta. I took 2 weeks off to be here with you and Emily." "But you're not really here, are you? You're always tense, always judging. Liam actually helps." Carter stared at me for a long moment. He helps because I let him, because every time I try to bond with my daughter, he's already here, already holding her, already playing daddy. He's not playing daddy, he's being a good friend. Good friends don't let themselves into married couples' homes every single day. Good friends don't post photos of other people's babies like they're their own children. I pulled up Liam's latest Instagram post. It was a photo of him feeding Emily a bottle, with the caption, "Daddy duty. This little angel has my whole heart." "See?" Carter said, his voice breaking slightly. "Daddy duty, Brietta. He's calling himself her daddy." "It's just a figure of speech." "Is it?" "Because my own mother called this morning asking why her granddaughter's photos are all over some other man's social media. She wanted to know if we were having problems." Heat rose in my cheeks. "What did you tell her?" "I told her everything was fine, but I'm starting to wonder if that's true." That night, after Liam had gone home and Emily was finally asleep, I found Carter sitting on our bed with his laptop open. "What are you doing?" "Looking at apartments," he said without looking up. My stomach dropped. "What? Why?" "Because I don't feel welcome in my own home anymore. Because my wife defends another man over me. Because I'm watching my marriage fall apart and I don't know how to stop it." "Carter, don't be dramatic. Nobody's marriage is falling apart." He turned the laptop screen toward me. It showed Liam's Facebook page, filled with photos of Emily, of me, of our family moments. The most recent post was from this afternoon. Baby girl's first smile. Pretty sure it was just for me. An proud uncle, our blessed shoal family. He posted about her first smile before I even knew she'd smiled. Carter said quietly, "I missed my daughter's first smile because I was doing laundry, and I found out about it from your friend's Facebook page." I felt a pang of guilt. Emily had smiled while Liam was holding her, and I'd been so excited that I'd immediately told him to pose for a photo. It hadn't occurred to me to wait for Carter. "I'm sorry," I said. "I should have gotten you first." "Should have, but didn't. Just like at the hospital. Just like every day since we brought her home." Carter closed the laptop. "I feel like a stranger in my own family, Brietta." "You're being ridiculous." "Am I? When's the last time I held Emily for longer than 10 minutes without Liam showing up to help? When's the last time we had a family moment that didn't include him?" I couldn't answer, because I couldn't remember. "He's just excited about the baby," I said weakly. "He's too excited, and you're encouraging it." The next morning, I woke up to find Carter's side of the bed empty. I found him in Emily's nursery, holding her while she slept, tears streaming down his face. "Carter." "She looks like you," he whispered. "She has your eyes, your nose. She's perfect. She looks like both of us." He was quiet for a moment. "Does she?" "Because according to social media, she looks like Liam. 3 different people have commented about how much she resembles him." I felt that familiar surge of defensiveness. People see what they want to see. That doesn't mean anything. "Doesn't it?" Carter stood up, still cradling Emily. "Because I'm starting to wonder if there's more to your friendship with Liam than you're telling me." "How dare you?" "How dare I what? Ask questions about why another man is more involved in my daughter's life than I am. Wonder why my wife posts more photos with her friend than with her husband? Because you're never around for photos. You're always in another room, always sulking. I'm sulking because I feel like an outsider in my own family." Emily woke up crying, startled by our raised voices. Carter immediately began soothing her, his voice dropping to a gentle whisper. "It's okay, baby girl. Daddy's here. Daddy's always here." But even as he said it, I heard Liam's key in the front door. "Morning, sunshine," Liam called out. "I brought coffee and those pastries you love." Carter's face went completely blank. He handed Emily to me without a word and walked out of the nursery. A few minutes later, I heard the front door slam. "Where's Carter going?" Liam asked, appearing in the doorway with a coffee carrier and a bakery bag. He needs some air." "Everything okay between you two?" I hesitated. Part of me wanted to confide in Liam, to tell him about Carter's accusations and jealousy. But something held me back. "We're fine," I said, "just adjusting to parenthood." Liam smiled and reached for Emily. "Well, Uncle Liam is here to help. Aren't I, Princess?" As he took her from my arms, I noticed something I'd never seen before. The way he looked at her wasn't just affectionate. It was possessive, proud, like she belonged to him. For the first time, a tiny seed of doubt planted itself in my mind, but I pushed it away. Carter was being paranoid, and I wasn't going to let his insecurity ruin my friendships. My phone buzzed with a text from Carter. "Staying at James's tonight. Need some space to think." I stared at the message, feeling a mix of anger and panic. He was really leaving? Over this? "Everything okay?" Liam asked, noticing my expression. "Carter's being dramatic. He's staying at his brother's tonight. Want me to stay? I don't like the idea of you being alone with the baby." The offer was tempting. The house felt too quiet without Carter, and I was still nervous about handling Emily on my own overnight. "Would you mind? Just on the couch in case I need help with feeding." "Of course," Liam said, his smile widening. "We'll take good care of our girl, won't we, Emily?" Our girl. The words should have bothered me, but instead, they felt comforting. At least someone wanted to be here. Carter didn't come home the next day, or the day after that. When I called him, he was polite but distant. "I need more time," he said. "I'm not ready to come back yet." "This is ridiculous, Carter. You're abandoning your family over nothing." "I'm not abandoning anyone. I'm trying to figure out how to save my marriage. By leaving. By getting some perspective. Maybe you should try it too." I hung up, furious. How dare he make me feel guilty for having supportive friends? I immediately called my best friend, Sarah. "He just left?" Sarah asked, incredulous. "What kind of father abandons his newborn baby?" "That's what I said, and all because he's jealous of Liam. That's so toxic. You deserve better than that, Bree." I felt validated. Sarah was right. I did deserve better. I deserved a husband who trusted me, who supported my friendships, who didn't make everything about his own insecurities. That afternoon, I met my college friend group at our usual cafe downtown. Emily was fussy, but Liam had offered to come along to help. "Look at you two," my friend Jessica cooed, as Liam expertly soothed Emily while I ordered coffee. "You're like a little family." "Right," I said. "Liam's been amazing through all of this. I don't know what I would have done without him." "Where's Carter?" asked Megan. I felt my cheeks flush. "He's going through some things. He moved out temporarily." The table went quiet. "He moved out?" Sarah's voice was sharp. "With a newborn at home?" "He's staying at his brother's. He says he needs space to think." "About what?" Jessica demanded. I hesitated, then decided to tell the truth. "He's jealous of Liam. He thinks our friendship is inappropriate." The reaction was immediate and unanimous. "That's disgusting," Megan said. "So controlling," added Sarah. "You can't help it if Liam is more supportive than your own husband," Jessica said, loud enough for nearby tables to hear. Liam, who had been quietly feeding Emily, looked up with a modest smile. "I just want to help. Brietta's been through so much and she deserves all the support she can get." "See," Sarah said. "This is what a real man looks like. Someone who shows up." I felt a surge of gratitude toward my friends. They understood what Carter couldn't, that Liam was just being a good friend. "I think I should document this," I said, pulling out my phone. "For Emily's baby book. All the people who were there for her in her first weeks." I snapped photos of Liam holding Emily, of our friend group gathered around them, of the sweet moment when Emily gripped Liam's finger. Later, I posted them with the caption, "Grateful for friends who become family. When life gets hard, you find out who really cares. Han single mom, Jan blessed, and Chant real friends, and Chan family." The post exploded with supportive comments. "You're so strong, Bree." "Emily is lucky to have such a loving support system." "Liam seems like an amazing friend." "Carter doesn't know what he's missing." But there were other comments too, ones that made my stomach twist. Where's the baby's father in all these photos? Is Liam the dad? They look so natural together. Confused about the family situation here. I deleted those comments quickly, but not before several of my friends had seen them and jumped to my defense. Carter abandoned his family. Liam stepped up when the real father wouldn't. Some men can't handle the responsibility of fatherhood. Brietta deserves better than a man who runs away. That evening, Carter called. "I saw your post," he said quietly. "Which one?" "The one where you called yourself a single mom. The one where you posted photos of our daughter with another man and called him family." My friends were being supportive. "Your friends are calling me a deadbeat father on social media, Brietta. My co-workers have seen these posts. My mother is getting phone calls from relatives asking if we're divorced." I felt a flash of guilt but pushed it down. Maybe if you came home and acted like a husband and father, people wouldn't be confused. "I've been gone 3 days. 3 days, Brietta, and in that time, you've posted a dozen photos of Liam with our daughter and 0 photos of me. You're not here to be in photos. I'm not there because every time I am there, he's there too. I can't bond with my own daughter because your friend has taken over my role in her life. He hasn't taken over anything. He's just helping." "Helping with what? I'm her father. What exactly does she need help with that I can't provide?" I couldn't answer that because the truth was, I preferred Liam's help. He was more patient, more natural with Emily. He didn't get frustrated when she cried, didn't look overwhelmed by the responsibility. "I'm coming home tomorrow," Carter said. "We need to talk." "Fine, but I'm not cutting Liam out of our lives just because you're insecure. We'll see about that." After I hung up, I immediately texted Liam. "Carter's coming home tomorrow. He's going to try to cause problems about our friendship." His response was immediate. "Don't worry, I'll be there for you no matter what. Emily needs stability, and I'm not going anywhere." The certainty in his words was comforting. Whatever Carter had planned, I wouldn't have to face it alone. But that night, as I scrolled through the comments on my posts, I started to see them differently. People really did think Liam was Emily's father. They thought Carter had abandoned us, that I was a single mother being rescued by a good friend. The narrative had taken on a life of its own, and I wasn't sure I could control it anymore. My phone buzzed with a text from Carter's mother. "Brietta, we need to talk. What you're doing to my son is cruel and wrong. This needs to stop." I stared at the message, feeling a mix of anger and fear. Carter's family was turning against me, my friends were rallying around me, and somewhere in the middle was the truth, a truth I was no longer sure I wanted to examine too closely. Carter came home the next morning, looking like he hadn't slept in days. His clothes were wrinkled, his eyes red-rimmed, and there was a defeated slump to his shoulders that made my chest tighten with an emotion I didn't want to name. "We need to talk," he said, setting a manila envelope on the kitchen counter. "What's that?" "Documentation. Every post, every photo, every comment from the past month. I've been keeping track." I felt a chill run down my spine. "Keeping track of what?" "Of how you've systematically erased me from our daughter's life and replaced me with another man." "That's insane, Carter. You're being paranoid." He opened the envelope and spread out printed screenshots across the counter. My social media posts, Liam's posts, comment threads, timestamps. It was all there, laid out like evidence in a criminal case. "Paranoid?" Carter's voice was deadly quiet. "Let me show you paranoid." He pointed to the first screenshot. "Emily's birth announcement. You tagged Liam, but not me. Your own husband. That was an accident. Emily's first smile. Posted by Liam before you told me it happened. I forgot to. Emily's first laugh. Emily's first time sleeping through the night. Emily's first solid food. All documented by Liam. All shared with the world by Liam, while I found out about my daughter's milestones from social media." I stared at the evidence spread before me. Seeing it all together like this, It looked worse than I'd realized. "You're taking this out of context," I said weakly. "Am I?" Carter picked up another screenshot. "This is from yesterday. Your friend Sarah's comment. At least Emily has one reliable father figure in her life. 63 likes, Brietta. 63 people liked a comment calling another man Emily's father figure. I can't control what other people say. But you can control what you say, and what you post, and who you invite into our home every single day." Carter's voice was rising now. "Do you have any idea what it's like to read strangers on the internet talking about how much better your wife's life is without you? How much happier she seems with another man?" "Liam is not another man. He's a friend." "Is he?" Carter pulled out his phone. "Because I did some digging, Brietta. Bank statements, phone records, social media activity. Want to know what I found?" My mouth went dry. "You investigated me." "I investigated my marriage because something felt wrong, and I needed to know if I was crazy or if my instincts were right." He swiped to a screenshot of our joint bank account. "Liam's been using your debit card. Coffee shops, restaurants, baby stores. 47 transactions in the past month. He buys things for Emily, for us. I pay him back." "Do you? Because I don't see any payments to him. I see him spending our money like he's part of this family." Carter swiped to another screen. "Phone records. You and Liam text an average of 67 times per day. You call each other every morning at 7:15 and every night at 10:30. Those are the times you used to call me when I traveled for work. We talk about Emily, about baby stuff. Do you?" Carter's eyes were hard now. "Because some of these conversations happen at 2 in the morning. What baby stuff are you discussing at 2 a.m., Brietta?" I felt trapped, cornered by evidence I couldn't explain away. "You're twisting everything, making it sound like something it's not." "Then tell me what it is. Explain to me why my wife has more intimate daily contact with another man than with her own husband. Explain why that man has a key to our house, access to our bank account, and more photos with our daughter than I do." "Because you're never here," I exploded. "You're always working, always stressed, always making me feel like I'm doing everything wrong. Liam actually wants to be around us. I work to support our family. I've been stressed because my marriage is falling apart, and I make you feel like you're doing things wrong because you are doing things wrong." Emily started crying from her nursery, startled by our shouting. Without thinking, I reached for my phone to text Liam. Carter saw the motion, and something in his face just broke. "Don't," he said quietly. "Don't you dare call him right now. Emily's crying. She needs her parents, not your boyfriend." "He's not my boyfriend." "Isn't he?" Carter grabbed my phone before I could stop him. "Let's see. Recent messages with Liam. Can't wait to see you today. You make everything better. I don't know what I'd do without you. Carter doesn't understand me like you do." Each message hit like a physical blow. Seeing them read aloud, out of context, they sounded intimate. More intimate than I'd realized. "Those are taken out of context," I whispered. "Are they? Here's one from last week. Sometimes I think about what life would be like if things had been different between us." "What did you mean by that, Brietta?" I remembered sending that message. It was late at night. I was exhausted. And Liam had been so sweet, so understanding about everything I was going through. For just a moment, I'd wondered what it would have been like if we'd ended up together instead of just friends. It didn't mean anything. "And this one, you're going to be such an amazing father someday." "When did you send this?" "I don't remember." "I do. It was the day after Emily was born. You sent this to another man the day after giving birth to my child." Emily's crying was getting louder, but neither of us moved. We stood in our kitchen, surrounded by the evidence of my emotional betrayal, while our daughter cried alone in her nursery. "I'm going to ask you one question," Carter said, his voice deadly calm. "And I want you to think very carefully before you answer. Are you in love with Liam?" The question hung in the air between us. I opened my mouth to deny it, to tell Carter he was being ridiculous, but the words wouldn't come, because the truth was, I didn't know anymore. Somewhere between the late-night conversations and the shared moments with Emily, between the way Liam looked at me like I was perfect and the way he made everything feel easier, the lines had blurred. I started, then stopped. Carter's face went completely white. "Oh my God, you are..." "I don't know," I whispered. "I'm confused. Everything's been so hard, and he's been so supportive, and You just what? Decided to have an emotional affair while I was trying to hold our family together? It's not an affair. What would you call it? Because from where I'm standing, it looks like you've been building a life with another man while married to me." Emily's crying reached a crescendo. Finally, Carter pushed past me and went to get her. I heard his voice through the baby monitor, soft and broken. "It's okay, baby girl. Daddy's here. Daddy's always going to be here for you, no matter what Mummy does." The words cut deep because they carried the weight of a promise and a goodbye. When Carter came back downstairs with Emily, his face was set in stone. "I'm taking Emily to my mother's house," he said. "You can't do that." "I can, and I am. I've already spoken to a lawyer. Given the evidence I've collected, I have grounds for an emergency custody order." "Evidence of what? I haven't done anything wrong." "Haven't you?" Carter's voice was ice cold. "You've allowed another man to take over the father role in our daughter's life. You've been emotionally unfaithful to your marriage. You've publicly humiliated me and damaged my reputation. That's more than enough." He was already packing Emily's diaper bag, moving with efficient, determined motions. "Carter, please. We can work this out. I'll set boundaries with Liam. It's too late for that. You made your choice, Brietta. You chose him over me, over our marriage, over our family. Now you get to live with the consequences." "You can't take my daughter away from me." Carter paused at the door, Emily sleeping peacefully in her carrier. "I'm not taking her away. I'm protecting her. There's a difference." After they left, I sat in my empty house, surrounded by Carter's evidence, and finally let myself see the truth. I had been having an emotional affair. I had replaced my husband with another man in every way that mattered. I had destroyed my marriage for a fantasy that felt easier than reality. My phone buzzed with a text from Liam. "Saw Carter leaving with Emily. Are you okay? I'm coming over." For the first time in months, I didn't want to see him. I didn't want his comfort or his support or his understanding. I wanted my husband back. I wanted my family back. But it was too late. Carter was gone, Emily was gone, and I was left alone with the wreckage of my own making. The custody hearing was scheduled for the following Friday. I'd hired Zoe Franklin, a family lawyer who'd been in my sorority, hoping she'd be sympathetic to my side of the story. Instead, she spent our first meeting explaining how badly I'd screwed up. "Brietta, I need you to understand something," Zoe said, spreading Carter's evidence across her conference table. "This isn't about whether you physically cheated. This is about emotional infidelity, poor judgment, and what's in the best interest of the child. I never slept with Liam. That's not the point. Look at this from a judge's perspective. You've documented your own emotional affair on social media. You've allowed another man to assume a parental role. You've given him access to marital assets and your home. You've publicly humiliated your husband." I stared at the screenshots that had become evidence against me. I was just trying to show appreciation for a supportive friend. A supportive friend who calls himself daddy on social media, who has more photos with your baby than her actual father. "Brietta, some of these posts make it look like you're in a relationship with Liam." "We're not in a relationship." "Then why does your bank statement show you paid for a hotel room in the city last month, the same day Liam posted about a perfect afternoon with you and Emily?" My stomach dropped. That was innocent. Emily was fussy, and we thought a change of scenery might help. We got a hotel room so she could nap somewhere quiet. You got a hotel room with another man. It wasn't like that. It doesn't matter what it was like. It matters what it looks like, and it looks like you're having an affair. Zoe pulled out another document. Carter's requesting a paternity test. What? The blood drained from my face. That's ridiculous. Emily is his daughter. Is she? Because according to your social media posts, you and Liam have been close friends for years. There are photos of you two together going back months before Emily was conceived. We never slept together. Can you prove that? Because Carter's lawyer has phone records showing you and Liam were in constant contact during the time Emily was conceived. Hotel receipts, restaurant bills, long phone calls at odd hours. I felt sick. Every innocent moment with Liam was being twisted into evidence of an affair that had never happened. But looking at it all together, I could see how it appeared. What do? I whispered. You agree to the paternity test and pray Emily is Carter's daughter, because if she's not, you're going to lose everything. The test was scheduled for the following Tuesday. Carter arrived at the lab with his lawyer, a sharp-eyed woman named Patricia Wells, who looked at me like I was something she'd scrape off her shoe. Mrs. Morland, she said coldly, I trust you understand the gravity of this situation. Emily was 6 months old now, a happy, babbling baby who had no idea her world was falling apart. She smiled at Carter when he held her, reaching for his face with tiny hands. She looks like you, I said quietly, hoping to bridge the gap between us. Carter's expression didn't soften. We'll know soon enough. The actual test was quick, just a cheek swab for each of them, but the waiting felt eternal. Results would take 3 to 5 business days. I spent those days in a haze of anxiety and regret. Liam kept calling, wanting to know what was happening, offering to help in any way he could. But for the first time, his presence felt like a burden rather than a comfort. Maybe I should talk to Carter, he suggested during one of his visits. Explain that we're just friends. No, I said quickly, that would make things worse. But if he understood that nothing physical ever happened between us. Liam, please, just give me some space to figure this out. He looked hurt, but he left. And for the first time in months, my house felt peaceful without him there. The results came back on Friday morning. Carter's lawyer called Zoe, who called me immediately. Brietta, you need to sit down. Just tell me. Carter is Emily's biological father. I felt a rush of relief so intense it made me dizzy. Thank God. So this is over, right? He'll drop the custody case. No, Brietta. It's not over. The paternity test was just one piece of this. You still engaged in emotional infidelity. You still allowed another man to assume a parental role. You still damaged your marriage and your husband's reputation. But Emily is his daughter. Yes, and he's fighting for custody of his daughter. The biological connection doesn't erase what you did to your marriage. That afternoon, I got a call from Carter directly. The results came back, he said. I know. I'm so sorry, Carter. I'm sorry you ever had to doubt. I'm not calling to discuss apologies. I'm calling to let you know I'm moving forward with the divorce. Carter, please, we can fix this. I'll cut contact with Liam. I'll do whatever it takes. It's too late for that. I filed for divorce and primary custody of Emily. Primary custody? Carter, she's my daughter too. Is she? Because for the past 6 months, you've acted like she belongs to someone else. That's not fair. Fair? Carter's voice was bitter. Was it fair when I missed Emily's first smile because your boyfriend posted about it before you told me? Was it fair when my own mother had to ask me if I was still married because all she saw on social media was you playing house with another man? I didn't have an answer for that. I'll see you in court, Brietta. After he hung up, I sat in my empty house and finally understood what I'd lost. Not just my marriage, but my family. My daughter's respect, when she was old enough to understand. My in-laws, who had been like parents to me. My reputation, my future, my sense of self. All for what? A fantasy relationship with a man who'd been happy to play house but disappeared the moment things got complicated. My phone buzzed with a text from Liam. Heard about the paternity results. Glad that's settled. Want to grab dinner tonight? I stared at the message, finally seeing it clearly. He wasn't offering comfort or support. He was asking for a date. While my marriage crumbled around me, while I faced losing custody of my daughter, he was asking for dinner. I deleted the message without responding. For the first time in months, I was truly alone. And maybe that was exactly what I deserved. The divorce proceedings took 3 months. 3 months of depositions, mediation sessions, and court appearances that laid bare every mistake I'd made. Carter's lawyer was thorough and ruthless, presenting a timeline of my emotional affair that was impossible to deny. "Your Honor," Patricia Wells said during the final hearing, "Mr. Morland has been systematically replaced in his own family by another man. The evidence shows a pattern of emotional infidelity, poor judgment, and prioritizing an inappropriate relationship over the well-being of the marriage and child." She presented photo after photo of Liam with Emily, screenshots of our text conversations, bank records showing shared expenses, and testimony from witnesses who'd observed our interactions. Mrs. Morland allowed this man to assume a parental role while excluding her husband from significant moments in their daughter's life. She gave him access to their home, their finances, and their child, while publicly humiliated her husband on social media. My lawyer tried to argue that I'd never physically cheated, that I was just an overwhelmed new mother who'd accepted help from a friend. But the evidence was overwhelming. Judge Morrison, a stern woman in her 60s, listened to both sides before delivering her ruling. "This case represents a clear example of how social media and poor boundaries can destroy a family," she said. "While Mrs. Morland may not have engaged in a physical affair, the emotional infidelity and replacement of her husband with another man shows a fundamental lack of respect for her marriage vows." She awarded Carter primary custody of Emily, with me getting supervised visitation every other weekend until I completed counseling and demonstrated stable judgment. "Furthermore," the judge continued, "Mrs. Morland is ordered to have no contact with Mr. Liam Sutter while in the presence of the minor child. This relationship has proven detrimental to the child's family stability." I felt the words hit like physical blows. Supervised visitation, no contact with Liam during my time with Emily. Counseling. It was worse than I'd imagined. Carter was awarded the house, primary custody, and child support. I was left with my car, half our savings, and the wreckage of my reputation. After the hearing, I tried to approach Carter in the courthouse hallway. "Carter, please, can we talk?" He looked at me with eyes that held no warmth, no recognition of the woman he'd once loved. "My lawyer will handle all communication from now on." "She's my daughter, too." "Yes, she is, and maybe someday, when you've figured out how to be a mother instead of a teenager with a crush, you'll get to act like it." He walked away, and I knew it was the last real conversation we'd ever have. The supervised visitations were torture. Sitting in a sterile room at the Family Services building, while a social worker watched me interact with my own daughter, felt like the ultimate humiliation. Emily, now 8 months old, seemed confused by the arrangement. She'd cry when I tried to hold her, reaching for the social worker instead. "She doesn't know me anymore," I said during one particularly difficult session. "Children adapt to their primary caregiver," the social worker explained gently. "It will take time to rebuild that bond." Time I'd lost because I'd been too busy playing house with Liam to focus on being Emily's mother. Liam tried to maintain contact after the divorce was finalized, but I finally saw him clearly. He'd enjoyed the fantasy of playing daddy without any of the real responsibility. When things got complicated, when his presence became legally problematic, he'd started pulling away. "I think we should take a break," he said during our last conversation. "Let things cool down." "A break from what, Liam? We were never actually together." "You know what I mean. We were close. We were living in a fantasy that destroyed my marriage and cost me my daughter." "That's not fair. I was just being supportive." "Supportive friends don't let you destroy your life. They tell you when you're making mistakes, They encourage you to work on your marriage, not replace your husband. I never asked you to replace Carter. You didn't have to ask. You just stepped into his role and let me push him out. That was the last time we spoke. Liam moved to another city 6 months later, taking a job in Seattle. He never asked about Emily again. I spent the next year in intensive therapy, working to understand how I'd convinced myself that emotional infidelity was friendship, that public humiliation was sharing joy, that fantasy was better than reality. You were avoiding the hard work of marriage, my therapist explained. It's easier to start fresh with someone new than to work through problems with your spouse. But marriage isn't about easy. It's about choosing the same person every day, even when it's difficult. Slowly, very slowly, I began to understand what I'd lost. Carter hadn't been perfect, but he'd been present. He'd been trying to build a life with me while I'd been building a fantasy with someone else. My supervised visitations gradually became unsupervised as I demonstrated stability and growth. Emily began to warm up to me again, though she clearly saw Carter as her primary parent. I had to earn back every smile, every hug, every moment of trust. Carter remarried 2 years later, a kind woman named Rachel, who worked as a pediatric nurse. She was good to Emily, and Emily adored her. Watching my daughter call another woman Mama Rachel was painful, but I knew I had no right to object. At Emily's 3rd birthday party, held at Carter's house, I sat in the backyard, watching my ex-husband's new family. Carter looked happy, in a way he never had with me, relaxed, at peace. Rachel approached me while Emily played on her new swing set. She talks about you, you know, Rachel said gently. She's excited when she knows she's going to see you. Thank you for being good to her. She's easy to love. Carter's told me how much you've changed, how hard you've worked in therapy. I respect that. I felt tears prick my eyes. I destroyed everything. My marriage, my family, Emily's stability. All for something that was never real. But you're building something real now. Your relationship with Emily, your own growth. That matters. Later, as I was leaving, Carter walked me to my car. Thank you, he said quietly. For what? For doing the work, for getting help, for becoming the mother Emily deserves. It was the first kind thing he'd said to me in 3 years. I'm sorry, I said. For all of it. I know it's too late, but I'm sorry. Carter nodded. I know you are. And I forgive you, Brietta. Not for me, but for Emily. She deserves parents who can be civil to each other. As I drove home to my small apartment, I thought about the woman I'd been 3 years ago. So convinced I was the victim, so sure everyone else was wrong. I'd lost everything chasing a fantasy, but in losing everything, I'd finally found myself. My phone buzzed with a text from Emily's daycare. Emily made you a Mother's Day card. She's very excited to give it to you this weekend. This weekend, my weekend with my daughter. Not supervised, not monitored, just us. It had taken 3 years, but I'd earned back the right to be Emily's mother. I'd never get Carter back. I'd never get our marriage back, or the family we could have been. But I had Emily, and I had myself, and this time I wouldn't take either for granted. The fantasy was over. Reality was harder, lonelier, but it was real, and real was enough.